What up, everyone? Welcome to Saturday Night Live Sports Talk Show with my co-host Picksburgh in the house.
What up?
What up, man?
Not much, man.
How's things in the world of Pittsburgh?
Getting better by the day.
That's good, man.
Yep.
I'm finally starting to feel better overall with the whole flu or whatever the heck I had. So actually got to get out and get out and about and see Pittsburgh. We went to a card show today up in Robinson, PA. Met a few people. Got to see some cards. I didn't make any deals or anything like that. But
I did. Should I give an exclusive to your channel that I didn't even give on mine yet?
If you want.
You guys want to see the big one that you'll probably see on my channel probably tomorrow. But bucket list card was purchased today. Big shout out to Patrick if you're watching this. This was somebody actually saw one of my videos where I was talking about how badly I wanted to get a Terry Bradshaw rookie card in at least a 5. And he was like, hey, I have a Terry Bradshaw and a SGC 5 if you want it. I was like, yes. So I was able to pick that up today. And that's like one of, I don't want to say grail cards, but for me as a Pittsburgh sports fan, growing up with the Steelers, like definitely one I wanted at my PC. Alan, what up, my man? Big shout out to Alan. If you guys don't know him, he is the co-owner over at Pure Graded X, the new grading company. They put out some really sick stuff, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this anymore since we're not on my channel, but there's still a promo code out there, Picksburgh X. Anybody wants to get $10 off any order, you can use that up to 5 times, but I'm pretty sure it expires after today. So
you said that beard is the best. It grades a 10. You know what?
That's awesome. And you know it's official when a grading company tells you that's a Gem Mint 10 beard.
Heck yeah.
You might need to start marketing yourself that way, bro.
The only Gem Mint 10 beard in the marketplace.
Dude, you know what you should do? You should make yourself like a relic patch and get them to grade it with like a chunk of your beard in it.
That might be a good idea, actually.
One of one, every day I'm hustling relic patch.
Yeah, that might be something we'd actually might have to do.
Alan says that promo code's still good till midnight. So anybody that's watching this between now and then on replay, Picksburgh X. Steven, what up, my man?
What up? Good to see you.
Yeah, I just submitted 5 cards with them the other day, just yesterday, I believe. It's pretty awesome.
Speaking of graded cards, I'll probably have a reveal coming Monday of a couple cards that I got finally coming back from PSA Express, of course.
There you go. Not
snail mail, as I like to call it nowadays.
So how much did you pay for the Express order with PSA?
I think it was, actually, let me double check. I think it was like there's 2 cards. I think it was $179.
This was before the shutdown. Everything is $300. Is that right?
Yeah, it was $75 a card and $29 in insurance for shipping.
Okay.
So $179 ended up almost being, almost $90 a card after it was all said and done.
What up, Chris? Good to see you, my man.
Hobby Beast, what up? I got one Gem Mint 10 coming back. I know that for sure. And another card, I figured it wasn't going to 10, of course, because I just wanted to send it. I thought it would 9. That's why I sent it in Express. But I won't tell you guys all the grades. But just having one Gem Mint 10 come back, it paid for itself for sure. So
definitely,
anytime you can get some PSA mail coming back to you, it's always a good time.
I can't wait to get that feeling.
I was looking. The modern's going to be the one probably that's going to pop the fastest for us. So anything that you send in modern probably hit first because the 2017 and older is like a month behind right now. So
Dude, you want to know what sucks so bad? PSA is so terrible at getting us our cards back in a timely fashion that not only have some players that you and I both have there right now, mainly me because I'm the Sekou guy, not some players have already become busts that we've sent them in the time that they've been backed up. And then beyond that, like the market is completely shifted in the time that we've had stuff there as well. So it's like, man, like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, it's going to be kind of nice getting a whole bunch of cards back because I know as much as some like my Sekus have gone down in value, like some of the cards I sent in, have definitely probably tremendously gone up. Like the, anything Kobe or Dwayne Wade or anything I sent in there, like D Wade stuff's been jumping as of late. Steven, PSA is not technically closed. They've just suspended every submission level outside of Super Express, which is $300 per card. So I just kind of refer to it as closed because unless you're willing to give them $300 for a card, they basically are. Dude, I can't wait either, Chris, man. It's literally going to be like forever and a day. You want to know what's crazy? So the very last submission I sent, no. Well, yeah, actually the very last submission I sent out, well, no, I've sent multiple to them, so I guess that doesn't count. The very last company I've sent something to without receiving like anything back has been Pure Graded X, and I'm getting a submission back from them this week. Like just in like hindsight, how like crazy like things are right now in grading. The only other like one that I've ever had that kind of a fast turnaround with was before things got crazy and PSA closed. SGC, they were pretty on point right before they went to 75, and GMA before SGC and everything went down. Their turnaround times I've heard of like slowed down tremendously as of late.
Brent Mendel said, "Do you guys have any playoff card predictions?" We're going to go over the playoffs here in a second. As soon as my computer decides to say not responding, so I can share a couple things on my screen, we're going to go over some of the playoff brackets and stuff like that. See what we think that who could be some decent pickups and things like that along the way. I can't believe the Lakers slid all the way down to 7. They're going to have to play possibly in a playing game, depending on, I think, their last game of the season. They'll be tied, I think, with the 6th seed. I don't know how that will work. I don't know if they go to head-to-head with that 6th seed, which is Portland, or what the case may be.
This is a guy I think is going to be pretty dangerous in the playoffs, especially with no Jamal Murray. Like, think of how many more touches this guy's going to get. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you can still get MPJ pretty low, like we haven't seen his upside yet. Like we haven't seen him touch his potential. Like I still think like the sky's the limit on MPJ.
He might be a guy that might be on the move. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what his contract standing is or whatever, but even next season he might even if he's.
Yeah, I think he has like one more year before he has to like re-up or whatnot.
With him in his future, I mean, you see what if you give him an opportunity, what he can do, and he's put up some numbers, guys. Probably, I think he's averaged at least 20 points in a game, basically all the way up since Jamal Murray's been out, and I think there was a game where he had 44 points. So he's definitely put up some, decent numbers, ever since he went out, and I just think that for whatever reason they wanted to have Jamal Murray and the Joker just be the whole offense and not really give him that many opportunities. They should have had it be a little more even spread. I mean, Joker, of course, would be somebody you want to have the ball as much as possible because he's so dangerous. But, I think they should have Michael Porter Jr. a little more involved, and that offense would have really flourished because – if you watch a lot of the Denver Nuggets like I did last year and during this year or whatever the case is, they would basically run a 2-man game just between Jamal and the Joker. So,
yeah, I definitely think they need to, even once Murray's back, continue to keep, because honestly, if you were to look at that team and who has the most upside out of anybody on it, including Murray and Joker, I think Porter Jr. might have more talent than both of those guys. And that's saying something. Like that's what I think about Porter Jr. Like as far as natural athleticism and natural upside. I mean, because Joker, like he's already far and away over and accomplished like what any of his upside would have been. Like I still think Joker still isn't the polished player that he will be in like maybe a couple years from now. But I just think Michael Porter Jr., like he has the potential to be like, you know, a Giannis caliber player if he gets, if he develops the way he's supposed to, I should say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to close my StreamYard real quick.
While you do that, I want to greet a few people because we're a little backed up in the chat. So just quick, what up to Glass City Pickers? Good to see you guys. Appreciate you being here. Say Steeler Nation. Definitely appreciate you being here. Sorry about the complications we're having with the stream. If it's choppy or you guys are having trouble hearing us or anything, just let us know in the chat so that we can make any kind of adjustments need be. Oh, man. I was going to say the stream got twice as ugly there for a minute.
Whoa.
Stash is in the house. What is up, my man? Great to see you. He says Chris Paul, he thinks is going to get some added shine if he's still there. Absolutely. CP3, man, that dude shows up in the playoffs.
Definitely.
Brett is in the house. Good to see you, man.
We got Las Vegas Thrifts.
Sonny, what's up, man? Good to see you. Got Paul in the house, Gate City Picker.
Costa Rica card collector, what up?
Good to see you. So Steven actually had a question in regards to GMA. He said, is GMA good? You know what's funny? Like here's that question I think like is the first thing everybody asks in regards to GMA, because even when tagging videos for GMA, like 3 or 4 of the tags have to do with whether GMA is good. Is GMA grading any good? I think they're good. Like I've graded with them several times. The problem I have with GMA is that their resale value isn't as good as some of the other companies. So for, the price you're going to be paying, it's, oftentimes better to go with some of the other companies that command a little bit more on the resale market. So that's one of the main knocks I'll give on them. I've sent them a lot of stuff, and they've always had decent service. I would say like one thing I would love to see is them like have it be more digital as opposed to like paper and you have to fill it out type stuff. But I like them. I never had an issue with them, but yeah, so surprisingly, that's like one of the main keywords for GMA grading is GMA grading good.
What up, Jimmy? Old school Flips in the house. He said Nuggets coach doesn't like defensive liability. I think he's head on the nail on the head on that.
Yeah, that's why it took him so long to even like start consistently, is because he can be a liability.
Yeah.
And really, like, would you have really had him like in over? Would they have Jeremy Grant last year? Was Jeremy Grant on their team last year?
He ended up going to the Pistons or whatever this year. But yeah, he was awesome on defense. He even played pretty good on offense. He had a couple great games against the Lakers.
He was the one player that like I watched and I was like, this dude's a lot better than I thought he was. You know what I mean? Just from like 2K or whatever. You know what I mean? Just watching him actually play, like he's definitely one of them players that definitely impresses me.
I think Chris Paul is going to be another guy that's a decent pickup right now too, because the Suns actually have a pretty decent. If things stay like they are right now with the playoff bracket, I mean they don't have that hard of a way in. Well, other than probably the Lakers win 7, the 7-8 versus Golden State, then they would play Lakers off the bat. I think that would be basically the hardest test until they get closer to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. What's up, Amy? Good to see you.
In the house. What up?
Awesome to have you here.
I'm gonna pull up MPJ's numbers.
Are there any like? Well, and that's the other thing too, as far as like the hobby is concerned. Michael Porter Jr. can never play a lick of defense, and his card prices can still be great because the hobby loves points. You know what I mean? That's why I can still get Isaac Okoro cards like dirt cheap compared to some other rookies right now because he hasn't fully developed his offensive game yet. You know what I mean? So like offenses like Trae Young, for example, like he's not a great defender, but the dude gets buckets like a young Steph Curry. So like the hobby like really favors him. So I think MPJ has that going for him, whether or not he's like a real good defender or like all around player.
There's a guy at the card show we were just at, and he was saying that someone was picking up all the Michael Porter Juniors like that he could or whatever, and they were going like hotcakes. And I was just happy that I got my PSA 10 when I did.
Dude, I wish I would have gotten more 10s of him, man. I have one rookie auto of his at BGS right now. I'm hoping to at least pull a 9.5 on. But yeah, man, I wish he's one guy I wish I would have invested more in getting 10s just because of how low he's been just over the last 6 months. Like you and I have both said, like, let's look at Michael Porter Jr. stat lines. Why are his cards not skyrocketing? Like it's insane. Like to see this dude just drop like 30-point games and not get a little bit more love as far as like going up in value. But then again, like no one's really going up in value. Like I don't remember if it was it might have been Northeast Ohio. He did a video and basically he was going over like the people that were in the green for the year. And essentially like it was like Klay Thompson, like guys that are literally out for the year, have not been on the court at all. You know, and like their stuff is like still up. It hasn't dropped like some of these other ones have.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr., other than his last game, which I'm sure he just played limited minutes because they're pretty deep, you know, they're in the third seed pretty secure, and they played against Detroit. Other than that, he's basically averaged, you know, at least 20 points or close to it in every game that he's played. And there's a couple 39 points. I mean, he's definitely put up some numbers. For the season or for April, he averaged 23 points, and his 3-point shooting was 42%, which is really efficient. I mean, that's exactly what you want: 85% from the foul line and shooting 55% from the field. So, I mean, solid, super solid offensive guy.
What's up, BJ? Good to see you, man. I agree with Alan. He says Golden State is trouble, man. Steph Curry, man, like you can never count a team out that has Steph Curry on it. Just imagine once Klay Thompson's healthy, like that team is going to be nasty.
If Klay Thompson, even if he loses a lot of his like side to side, and he just has his 3-point shot, you know, set up in the corner and shoot, man, that team's going to be such a dynamic offense. I mean, be able to shoot and do anything they want, especially with Wiseman having another year on his belt.
Look at it this way, like. Imagine how much better that team would be even if you were to insert Buddy Hield, right? So even if Thompson comes back and he's not the Klay Thompson that he once was, you don't forget how to shoot. You know what I mean? So, like, look at Kyle Korver. Like, there's a reason this guy is graying but still valuable on a team because if you can get buckets, you can get buckets. And, you know, like, he's already one of the best 3-point shooters, you know, in the league. So, I mean, honestly, of all time, like he literally might be in the conversation, top 5 all time 3-point shooters, Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? So even if he comes back and that's the only aspect of his game, he's still going to be pretty valuable. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, he has a stroke almost as, but they're on the same par, I'd say, with Curry, man. Like when he gets lit, he could shoot 10 in a row and make them with his eyes closed. That's how dynamic of a 3-point shooter he is. Right now, this is what the playoff bracket's looking like. And Memphis is playing Spurs. You got Lakers, Golden State, and then the winner of 7 and 8 play Phoenix, and then the loser would actually play the winner of the 9-10 here. So they'd have to play additional game, which would be rough for Golden State because Curry's had a little bit of injuries and stuff like that through the season, and he's been carrying that team all the way through. So if Golden State would have to play there, I would almost picture them losing to whoever's in this 9-10 just for the fact that, they just – it's been a rough ride this year. But Portland's kind of where I expected them to be. I didn't really expect them to be 6, but thought maybe they would squeak up a little bit higher. But the Western Conference is so competitive. Even Dallas squeaked up in the 5 spot. They were in the 8, 9, spot for a while. Hopefully Porzingis can come back to form and bring some offensive and some defensive skills and back to the playoffs, because he was one of those guys I picked up a PSA 10 too, and he's been all over the place ever since coming back from the knee injury. Then you got the Clippers in Dallas, and then the A seed, whoever. Wait, how does this go? The winner of this goes and plays Utah. So Utah has an easy sled too. I mean, they won't have to face the Lakers until the end if they would have to, and they would have to play the winner of the Clippers and Dallas. But this is the surprise team right here, New York, man. I'm so surprised that they came out and be 4th, and Boston being 7th. I can't believe that, man. But I'm real proud of Charlotte for holding it in, at least making it to the playoffs without having LaMelo for most of the season.
Yep.
And here's Washington, Indiana. 2 teams that we really didn't have much playoff aspirations at all. But Russell Westbrook out there, he's playing his best as he can, and Bradley Bill's just putting up buckets. This is the team I thought was going to be one. Brooklyn I thought was going to be one, but Philly has the 1 seed right now.
I don't know if this makes me a bad fan or not, but like in the beginning of the year, I really thought we were going to see the Cavs on that picture, and I'm kind of glad they're not, just for the sense that, like, with my season ticket plan, I get to meet the next rookie they draft, and now they're going to get somebody good because they'll probably get like another top 5 pick.
Yeah, I mean, standing wise, like, I don't know. I guess they do it the lottery. So I mean, I guess they'd have a pretty good chance of still having like a top 5 pick next year. Because record wise, right now they have 22 wins, and the only team that's like way worse is the Rockets down there in Houston.
Dude, they're gonna get really good really fast. I think the Cavs, because can you imagine the young core they have adding another top 5 talent to that? Like, as long as you don't like whiff it.
Yeah, I mean,
good to see you, man.
What up, Adam? Good to see you. He says he's rooting for the 76ers, but worried about Milwaukee, Miami, and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The only team I'd really be worried if I was a Sixers fan is Brooklyn, especially if they got the 3-headed monster running, which, I don't know if they're kind of just resting one guy at a time, because Harden came back from that hamstring, and then Kyrie had a face contusion, which is, I guess, a bruise or something. And, he took that night off the other night. So, I mean, honestly, if that 3-headed monster is playing, they're going to be tough to play against, man.
So this is why Thrift Beast is my favorite person on the planet, because he encourages me to love Vanderson Varejao more and more every day. He says if they picked up Varejao in the beginning of the season, they'd be the number 2 seed for sure. That's what I'm saying, man.
I found 3 Varejaos for Pittsburgh today.
He did, and I picked them all up.
Got to get them.
The goat.
Wham.
You know I stay with Anderson Varejao slabs all around me.
Chris has been super impressed with Wiggins. He definitely stepped up offensively and defensively. I think whenever you go to a winning team or a winning culture, you know what I mean, where a team that's usually always in the playoffs, who has championships, who has star players like Curry and Klay Thompson. Even though Klay Thompson isn't playing, he's still there, trying to help out his team and everything like that. That culture and that makes you want to do more, makes you want to be better. You know what I mean? So, yeah, having a young player who had a super ton of talent, maybe just didn't give it his all. You know what I mean? And he's doing that with the Golden State.
Yeah.
BJ says, Sucktown, 15 years, no playoff. That's a record, and it's atrocious. Mitch Richmond ain't coming back. that probably was the last time they went to the playoffs was Mitch Richmond. He was a beast back in the day.
Yep.
Adam says he wished he had Jimmy Butler instead of Ben Simmons. I agree there. Jimmy Butler, he's a little bit, he's getting older, but his all around game is he's just a great player, man.
Yep.
I guess that's for your boy Virgil.
What's that? Yeah, greatest Virgil of all time. That's exactly what that is.
So what are some guys that you're trying to sneak in and pick up before the playoffs start? Anything specific?
I'm not going super heavy on like running and gunning, trying to grab certain players for the playoffs as much as I am like trying to have those specific cards that I already own ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, because for example, last season, man, the market was so much hotter that literally if we picked up MPJ today, he drops 30 points tonight, we can relist that for 20% more tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like right. This year, it hasn't been that way. So being that it hasn't we haven't seen those consistent jumps like we're used to, rather than investing X amount of extra capital into it, I've basically just been trying to maximize what I already kind of have in stock. Because as you know, dude, like I literally have thousands of cards like out at grading company X, Y, and Z right now, just waiting to come back in.
Right.
So like the bulk of like what I've been doing with a lot of my budget has been trying to get raw and turn it into more valuable cards. So, but I've been doing that a lot, like even with bargain bins, you know what I mean? Like today, like I've literally just picked up a stack probably this big just of different Trae Young cards. Just because I know I can very easily move a Trae Young raw because he's going into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like coming into the year, a lot of people might not have pictured the Hawks as a playoff team.
Yeah, definitely. I thought they would have had a rough start of the year. You know what I mean? But they kind of got to figure it out. I think they're in the 6th seed, I believe it was. I think I've seen. So I mean, I would say it's a little bit of a disappointment. Where what I thought they would have been. I thought they would have been close to like the 4th seed this year, but New York came out guns a-blazing today or this year. That's for sure. They were not going to be stopped. Yeah. Adam said, "Question: did you guys see Target stop selling sports cards because of the fights breaking out in stores?" Yeah, I saw different things, in different stores, but I actually would hope they would go to more of an online type of lottery or something where, if you bought cards, then, okay, you got to wait X amount of time or something so that someone else can get cards or something like that. Just so it's fair. And not only that, like this way, the hobby, everyone can get a little piece. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what they were doing in store with the ID checks and everything. It just got to the point where, like Adam said, fights were breaking out over it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even with the, like I know stores around you had, the checks and stuff like that because I even went to one of your stores and I just happened to be in the area and I'm like, I'll just check and see if they have them. They were gone. But, like, my stores don't do that. They just give them out to whoever and then they're done with them. So I wish they would went to something like that because then I at least got a chance to get some packs and be able to rip and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Alan said, Hawks and Heat are neck and neck for 4 and 5.
Yep. Honestly, like I still like the Heat a whole lot. I think they need to stay healthy. Man, I could totally see Tyler Hero doing the exact same thing he did last playoffs, like price wise. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not in that same market where it's like everything is like blowing up like crazy at all times, but I could totally see Tyler Hero getting a lot of shine, dropping a couple monster games in the playoffs.
He's definitely a guy I've had cards of either at PSA or I bought a couple that whenever the prices just went to the floor for whatever reason.
Yep.
And I got to pick up a silver 9 of him in select and different stuff like that for super cheap. Those are guys that can easily have those type of games that those game winners or whatever that, next thing you know, their prices just spike. So those are kind of guys that I was always kind of high on. I was always high on, on Hero whenever he came out as a rookie, just for the fact that at first his cards were so cheap, but I seen that potential in him as just he just seems like a really hardworking and he loves the game. Those type of guys usually have a great chance of having great success.
The thing I like about Hero is his stuff is so down right now. Like everything Hero is down. So like it's going to go back up. Like Hero's not a bad player. You know what I mean? Like I think where a lot of modern basketball cards are right now is not where they really should be. You know what I mean? I really think we're going to see a little bit of love coming to some of these guys here shortly, especially now the playoffs are starting.
Yeah, I thought Oladipo was going to, be something for them coming off the bench or just eating up some, some scoring and stuff like that. But he's another player that I have a few cards of. I didn't have a lot of money in him or anything like that, but I was kind of disappointed whenever he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, gonna say what's up to Smash.
What up, Smash? Hey, thanks for that gift bag and stuff like that. I finally met up with Pittsburgh, got it. I appreciate it, man. But health is better. I was definitely no COVID. Got that tested, but got it back late Sunday from an email, and it seems like I don't know, something just burling around my house from different colds and stuff like that. So just trying to eat a lot of vitamin C and try to get through it. It's Clint. What up?
My bad, Smash. Oh, so are you saying you'd rather me take my shirt off? Is that where we're going?
Oh man.
He says my see-through hat and I'm see-through on that side too. Not bad, guys.
Oh, and I agree. Tatum prices they were down too. I mean, they kind of fell apart too. So I don't know what happened with Boston, but they were always like around the 4th seed for a lot of the season. Now they're in the 7th seed, or fighting for a chance to be in the playoffs, basically, because they're in a playing game right now scheduled. So, but also Tatum can have one of those games where he score 40, 50 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Losing Brown, that hurts, man. I was always really big on him too. So I definitely have some cards of him. His prices definitely fluctuated big time during the season.
I think Brown's safe though, man. Like I think like he's still just scratching his potential. You know what I mean? Same with Tatum too. You know what I mean? They're going to be a special tandem for a while.
Yeah,
what up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, they signed contracts to same time for the same amount of length or whatever, and they're going to be in Beantown for a long time. That's for sure.
Yeah,
but I always like Brown, man. I actually like Brown more than Tatum. Tatum, I just feel like he kind of wants to be more passive and kind of share it around. Like he doesn't have that like that, I don't know, that like dog mentality. Like I got to take this
Brown's
game over.
Definitely more of a dog.
Yeah.
I personally like Tatum more, but that just might be because like I've been following Tatum longer. Like granted, Brown's been in the league longer, but I've been a fan of Tatum longer, if that makes sense. But you can't go wrong with either one, man. Like they're both, like, in my opinion, superstar talents. I could see Tatum though, like having a little bit higher of a ceiling.
This is the Breaks. What up? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
What's up, man?
Adam asks, what do you guys think of Baker Mayfield will do this year?
I like Baker. Like he's one of the, like, as far as football, like there's only so many players I will pick up due to, like, honestly, quarterbacks being the only position that truly matters. Baker's one of the guys that I've been picking up to flip. Also, Lamar Jackson's another one of the guys. And it kills me. Honestly, I've been picking up Joe Burrow too. Oh, God, what is happening to me?
Picking up all non-Steeler quarterbacks.
I'm literally picking up division rivals. Ugh. Why did these general managers learn how to pick quarterbacks for these other teams?
Right. We haven't had our division stacked with young talent in a long time, but definitely each of those quarterbacks are decent pickups right now, especially Lamar and in Brady or not Brady, Baker Mayfield, their prices are kind of on the lower side, especially Lamar. I think a lot of people kind of figured out that he's kind of one dimensional for the most part. I mean, he could throw, but he also needs to have good receivers to throw to. And that's been the one thing that it's really hurt him and his talent in their team, because when Hollywood Brown's not in the game, they almost lose all their passing attack, and the only thing they have is tight ends to throw to. So you can't have a great line and a great running backs and have a quarterback and who can run, which is great, but can't win championships without being able to throw the ball nowadays. Maybe before you used to be able to play defense and run the ball and maybe have 100 yards passing and win, but it's very tough to win in this NFL because there's a lot of points, a lot of yards being in every game, you know?
Yep. And man, AFC North is awesome, man. Big Ben, if you're watching this, earmuffs, but like, how is it that like Big Ben is the worst quarterback in the division right now? Like, how the mighty have fallen.
I don't know if I'd say he's the worst quarterback in the division. I mean, think
if you look at it like as a career, Big Ben's the best quarterback in the division. But as far as 2021 talent, compared to Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, and Joe Burrow, I think he has by far the least remaining talent of the bunch.
I think I'd rather have Big Ben than Baker right now.
Dude, if the Browns were to call right now and be like, Picksburgh, we got Baker. All we want is Big Ben straight up. I'll be like, I'll drive him to you. Well, I love Big Ben. I love Big Ben. Like I'm one of the biggest Ben guys.
Maybe you're looking at it as years left of playing is making that trade, but I'm looking at it, if you could pick one quarterback out of Baker Baker or Ben to play this year on the Steelers, which one would you take?
Baker. I would still take Baker. And I love Ben. I love Ben. I would still take Baker Mayfield this year.
No way.
Dude, look, I have a Steeler tattoo, and I'm telling you, I would take Baker Mayfield this year over Big Ben. Same team, same weapons, everything.
Nah.
I think Baker Mayfield at this age is a better quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger at this age. Now, if you look at both of them side by side, like Big Ben at Baker's age, Big Ben all day. Outside of the last couple of years, Big Ben all day. You know what I mean? But like, I think Ben's starting to show us he's not the Ben he once was. He's a good enough Ben to get us into the playoffs and win us some games, but like, honestly, like part of me wonders, like, are you a good enough Ben right now with the caliber of offensive linemen in front of you to win a Super Bowl?
The problem last year was our running backs. Running backs and our offensive scheme was just it was like 99% pass and like, okay, we're running on short downs when everybody knows type thing. And we were running like a lot of short patterns and all that type of stuff because we couldn't pass block for more than 5 seconds. So, I mean, whenever you combine all that together, you know what I mean? Like,
dude,
Ben was still putting up numbers. You know,
last year was a hard year to watch as somebody that used to play offensive line, because there's like so many times, like literally, I wanted to rip my own hair out watching those guys try to block for Ben or even try to like establish any kind of ground game. Yeah. And then like literally every single time, like a running back would start to gain a little bit of rhythm, Tomlin's like, wait a minute, we have like 4 other guys on the roster we need to give reps to.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God. It's frustrating when you're used to like dominance and excellence from your franchise, you know what I mean? For them to like fall short, and fundamental things too, like things that like a Mike Tomlin coach team shouldn't suffer from, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Just the breaks. Yes, if we have Instagram, I do, and I know Pittsburgh does. If you go in the description, it will have a link called All My Links. Click on that. It will show you all my social media and different things like that.
So what you're telling us is all your links will show us
all all my links and all my links.
What up, Joe Deals? Good to see you, my man.
What up, man? So got to stretch my pocket deeper to go get Bears breaks now. Yeah, I mean, especially with Justin Fields being out there, that's for sure.
Yep, definitely. Just imagine how expensive the Steelers are going to be once they get a rookie quarterback, like a good rookie. Like I mean, like caliber of Big Ben again. You know what I mean? Like that we're hype about. Because I mean, let's be honest, we did just draft Mason Rudolph a few years ago, but he wasn't really worth getting hype over.
Hobby Beast wants to know about OnlyFans. You just got to click the link to see, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's just say maybe if Verjao had one, I might throw some subscribe.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Onlyrelics.com.
I still think Ben coming off of the injury, I think that had something that hurt him last year. I think our offensive coordinator was just bad. And our running backs were just bad, and we're just super predictable in offense. But if I had to pick a quarterback between Baker and Ben, I'm still taking Ben, man. Ben was putting up some solid numbers. He could throw for 500 yards in the game still. And I think after having a full off season, normal off season with the team and getting everybody dialed in, and they got some young pieces on offense and offensive line. Hopefully they can pick up a vet or two, maybe to either spot start at the beginning of the season or maybe be those guys that we need to start. I think we'll be okay, man. But I know that I think Vegas was saying that we're predicted to have a 10-7 season, which honestly, with how crazy our schedule looks, from what I was listening to, I'll take 10-7.
Definitely.
Adam says the Eagles won't name Hurts their starting quarterback. That's just silly. That didn't put him in any of their preseason marketing. That's crazy. To have a guy like Joe Flacco, who's probably the most like a windstorm will come past and he has a neck injury or a back injury or whatever. So, I mean, I'm surprised Joe Flacco didn't hang his cleats up and just say,
he does look like a unique blend of both Big Bird and Ert and Bernie. Like if you were to put them together, that's Joe Flacco.
I think Pittsburgh plays Buffalo the first game of the year because I was listening on the radio on the way back to from the card show or whatever. That's what they were talking about with their let me see here, printable schedule.
I could see that the breaks. Like I think Cleveland is a much better team than a lot of people give them credit for. You know, like I think a lot of people just look at the Browns and they just think, oh, it's the same old Browns. You know what I mean? But like I think there's a different culture there. I really do. I mean, I hope it's the same old Browns because I'm a Steelers fan, but I respect the Browns and what they've built there.
Here's a Steelers schedule. They got I thought they were going to only have 3 preseason games because they went to 17 games. But
dude, Paul might try to come in for that Raider game, bro.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yep.
So they played Dallas, Philly, Detroit, and Carolina for the preseason. And our first game will be at Buffalo. I think that would be one loss. Then they play against the good old Raiders. I would say that's a win. Cincinnati, that's a win. Green Bay, depending on if they have Aaron Rodgers or not, that would be the question of who wins that game. And if Denver has them. So we'll probably see either Aaron Rodgers here or here. Is my prediction. And then Seattle, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, Chargers, Cincy, Baltimore, Minnesota, Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland, Baltimore. That's a tough schedule. Other than maybe 2 games, maybe 3 games, they're all coin tosses, man, of who could really win depending on injury and how the Steelers are really playing this year.
Well, dude, honestly, even the crappy teams are a coin toss with the Steelers sometimes because they'll play the really good teams hard, and then they'll play the really terrible teams bad. They've always been that way over the years. Even when the Browns were literally the most horrible team in the league, we still found a way to either tie or lose to them.
This the break says I'm calling an upset Cleveland over KC in the first game. Possibly. Cleveland has that good run game, which it seems to neutralize anything Kansas City kind of does. It keeps Mahomes off of the sidelines, doesn't keep their offense on the field, tires out that defense, and Kansas City hasn't had the best run defense the last few years either. So unless they can improve that this year, yeah, I would probably, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would probably bet that as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Adam said Flacco grew 5 miles from him. That's pretty awesome, man. He actually went to Pitt for a very short time, and then he went to Delaware State or something like that.
I actually just sold a Joe Flacco relic, Delaware State relic, on eBay like 2 days ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam agrees. He said that's a tough schedule. Might wind up 9-8. Like I said, it could go either way, but it's definitely going to be some very interesting football. I always like watching every single Steeler game as much as I can. And this year, hopefully, not next week, but the week after, I'm supposed to be on my normal shift, which I'll be starting at 6 in the morning and being done at like 3 in the afternoon, and I have weekends off. So, with that said, I'll actually be able to watch Steeler games in full unless they play Monday night. So that would be pretty awesome.
Nice. It's awesome, dude.
This break says Bucks will break the season scoring record. It all depends on Mr. Brady, man. If he can come to form like he was last year, and now that he has a championship under his belt and the same team coming back, they're gonna be tough.
Man, I'll tell you what. Some of these 4:00 games, I think our auctions are gonna be kind of rowdy this year. Yeah. Can you imagine like the Steelers versus the Ravens at 4:25? We're doing an auction. Next thing you know, Nate starts throwing slabs across the room.
Yeah, well, that we might have to adjust on some of these days, because look how many 4:00 games. 1.
I know, man. Like
2, 3. Oh, it's only 1, 2. There's only 3.
That's not too bad.
I thought there was much more after you said that. 1, 2. Yeah, 3. A lot of 1 o'clock and 8 o'clock. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 8 o'clock games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 1 o'clock games. So
I'm just curious about this schedule here. How is it that the designer of this schedule thought it wise to use 2 wide receivers and not one of them be Chase Claypool?
I mean,
because when I think of the 2021 Steelers, I really think Deontay Johnson. Nothing against Deontay Johnson, but
he put up some numbers last year, man.
He's our third receiver, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
I would think Deontay Johnson actually was our number 1 receiver, honestly, like production wise.
You think like a sophomore Chase Claypool is not going to be our like number 1 receiver?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
maybe not on the depth chart. I think on the depth chart, Juju is going to be like the number 1 receiver. But I think like in actuality, like when defenses are keying up on us, they're going to be like, oh, dang, they have Chase Claypool. You know what I mean? Like defenses don't care that we have Juju or that we have Deontay, because I don't want to say that they're not average. They're good players, but Chase Claypool, it could like change a game. You know what I mean? Like, he has like that potential to like literally be like that Moss-like receiver out there, just like straight up going gangbusters for 4 touchdowns in a game.
So Deontay Johnson had 88 catches, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. Chase Claypool had 62 catches, 9 touchdowns, was tied for the team lead. Juju had 97 and 9. So actually, he had more catches and touchdowns than.
Well, and that's being fed as a number 1 too. You know what I mean? Like Chase Claypool came in as a rookie, not even in the top 3 lineup. You know what I mean? So like to put even comparable stats to those two, like, because in my opinion, he was handicapped. Like even James Washington was getting a little bit more playing time in the beginning of the year.
Washington only had 96 targets and Claypool had 109.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't get that many more balls thrown his way than Washington.
Oh, he had double what Washington had.
Oh, you
Washington
just said it was
96,
a
or 56. I'm sorry,
oh,
56.
I thought you said
and then,
96. My bad.
uh,
I was gonna
well,
say that was only like 16 more or something like that.
honestly,
96.
like at looking at stats, and he played the most, or him and Juju played all
So
16
that's
games.
Ebron with the 90s. That's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Claypool was our number 3 receiver, stat wise. I mean, he was more of our long ball guy, but you know what I mean. Like, I hope he doesn't turn into like that Mike Wallace type guy that we
See,
had.
Adam,
You know?
I,
Later,
I,
Adam.
I already think he's gonna. I already think he's better than Mike Wallace was, even at like Mike Wallace's peak. Like Claypool doesn't have the Wallace speed, but like he's got size Mike Wallace never had. You know what I mean? He's got like just athleticism Mike Wallace never had. Like Mike Wallace was a burner. You know, already Claypool has better hands than Wallace too, because Wallace was always that dude that was like plagued by drops. Like think of how many more like crazy deep touchdowns that dude would have had if he like, could have actually held on to the ball more.
I think that's the problem with Deontay. He would have had 120 balls or something even close to that if he would have actually, caught the ball most of the time. He had the bad case of the drops. He had almost 60 drops or targets that weren't catches, going his way. So I mean, I know a bunch of them were definitely drops or whatever because he just, he would always be dropping the ball all the time. But James Conner was our leading rusher, 700 yards. That's sad.
This the Breaks wants to know if you get down on MLB The Show.
No, I haven't. I need to get a PlayStation 5, and then I probably would play, different sports games like that. But I'm waiting, trying to get my hands on a PS5 without having to pay like $4,000 or whatever they're going for nowadays.
This is all I really have to play on right now. It's just the Switch. I had a PlayStation 4 and a Xbox One, but before the new ones came out, I sold those ones, and I just haven't picked up any new models yet.
I wish I didn't do that too. I did the same thing, thinking like, oh, I'll eventually be able to get one, but because of the whole COVID and production and just people hoarding them or whatever, like I've been nowhere near being able to get any of them.
Yeah. I don't really care as much because I figure most games, if I want to play them, I could probably get it for PC, or just on Switch if they make it on Switch.
I think that's what I need to do. I need to get just a controller, and this way, some games that I feel much better playing with controller, I can play with that versus like because like playing football or baseball on a keyboard and mouse, it would just be like really wonky. Yeah. What up, Boggs? Good to see you.
What up? Good to see you.
Appreciate you being here. But yeah, this break says, when's the next HGA submission? Can I send a couple cards to jump on board?
Do you mean Pure Graded X or do you mean CSG? HGA doesn't do the bulk submissions. They're the company that does the we have to wait in line. But as far as Pure Graded X, yeah, you could definitely send stuff in, and I'm doing bulk submissions for them, and we still have one going to CSG. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you with either one of those, man. And Nate will be doing PSA again here soon as they open back up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say probably started at the beginning of June. I'll probably start accepting orders or cards and stuff like that. So this way I can have them already looked at. And then as soon as they open up, boom, I'm already jumping on board. So this way I can get in on the first wave of cards going into PSA. And, because I'm sure that first day of them receiving orders or whatever is going to be crazy. So I want to be in that first drop of the next wave. Hopefully their prices aren't anything ridiculous or whatever. So, but yeah, definitely going to be doing PSA. Depending on what PSA is going to be doing, I might even do SGC as well, with them having dropped their prices down.
Yeah. Just in case you were wanting to get in with Pure Graded, though, this the breaks. For anybody that's watching this until midnight, there is a promo code. If you just put in Picksburgh X when you go to check out, it'll give you $10 off of any submission, and you can use that up to 5 times. Like I did it the other day. I sent them 5 cards and literally gave me $50 off. It was awesome.
I'm gonna drop the link for our auction that we'll have tomorrow.
Yeah, make sure you guys come out. I just grabbed a bunch of fresh inventory from the card show today. Plus, Marty has a whole bunch of like fire stuff here that I have to go through consignment wise as well.
I'm also gonna drop our Facebook group real quick as well. This way, if you guys want to jump into submissions, ask questions, we're going to be doing fantasy football again this year, which was awesome.
Yeah,
A lot of fun. Last year we drafted online. That was just so much fun. This
I did. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool with Jeff over at Sports Card Investor. That was awesome.
That's something I wish PSA would do. The only video I've ever seen of them was like a super old video kind of explaining how they look at the cards, but it's been so long, like since they had one of those, it's got to be out of date. You know what I mean?
I'm going to talk to Alan, see if I can get him to sneak me in behind the doors of Pure Graded X. Carson will be like, "Hey, man, what are you doing in there?"
What it does, I got you, man. We're gonna try and keep everyone who was in last year with us. Definitely get them in on board. And we'll try to have multiple leagues until everyone, unless we are short. Like, I don't want to have like a league of 4 teams or something, but we'll put out leagues as many times as people that we get that want to be in it. You know what I mean? Because
I don't mind a bigger league either, because I feel like that makes it like more challenging. You know what I mean? Whereas like sometimes if it's a 10-man league, you can suck at drafting and still end up like a pretty good team. Whereas like if you have more teams, like you have to actually be pretty good and like know your stuff, or else your team's just gonna suck. Or else you might have James Conner and Le'Veon Bell as your 2 running backs. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, that was.
I told you that was a bad idea, Nate. Why did you let me do that?
Dude, whenever you pick James Conner as running back in the 3rd round, I knew that team was doomed for success.
You want to know what killed me? It was that I grabbed James Conner in the 3rd, followed it up with Le'Veon in the 4th, and then I said, you know what would make it even better? I'm going to go Carson Wentz in the 5th. And then literally it was like my team was just like, yeah, we quit. You suck so bad.
Yeah,
luckily we had 2 leagues and I won the other one.
Yeah, you learned from your mistakes in the first league.
Although I drafted James Conner in both, and Wentz in both too, so I didn't learn that much.
Did you draft Wentz in the second one too?
Yep. I just happened to draft a better backup in the second.
Yeah, that's why I usually like having. I like running 2 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Because then you can go with matchups. If you're playing against. Say we'll go based on last year, for example. You're playing against Jacksonville, and your other team's playing against Pittsburgh or somebody else. You know what I mean? That's really good on defense. Then you could swap quarterbacks and still get the normal production that you would hope for out of that position. And then you could flip flop, and then if injury happens, you're able to adjust. And now that guy's your starter, and even if he plays against a bad team, you just got to take your lumps because that's all you got. So it's usually why I always try to keep. 2 decent quarterbacks on my roster, at least, or maybe a young gun that might, come out towards the middle of the season and start or whatever the case is.
Dude, the one thing I hate about fantasy, though, it makes me make bad decisions sometimes with my cards. Like last year, I was so mad at Carson Wentz. I like spike sold his stuff at like the low. I was like, you're not even allowed in my house anymore, Carson Wentz. Every single piece of cardboard I have with your face on it is going on eBay for whatever people will give me. And it's like now he's on a new team and there's probably a whole new fan base trying to collect his stuff. But
last year we did it. We had a $20 league, and then we had a $10 league, and first and second place got prizes, and the rest kind of didn't get anything. But that's how we set it up. But each league, we try to get everyone's opinion on what it should be or whatever, for each thing. So this way everyone has a voice, or we do a poll or a vote or whatever the case is. So this way, everything's happy with it and everything like that.
Yeah. It's a real competitive league, though. That's one thing I like about it is I don't know that we had anybody just say the heck with it, I'm going to quit and not play. You know what I mean? Like even if they didn't take it like super seriously, they still like put players in and didn't start injured guys and stuff like that.
Right. You got it, man.
Yeah, you're in, man. We'll have as many as we need to accommodate everybody. Like last year we had 2. I'm sure this year we'll probably have even more now that we do sports related content.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we'll set it up in the Facebook group, and then we'll be talking about leading up to the season and things like that. Mm-hmm. I bet you didn't. You wish you probably didn't sell your Carson Wentz stuff now. His stuff's probably
in hindsight. I wish I did. Yeah, absolutely. But like honestly, dude, like if you would have said something to me like, dude, you know this is a terrible time to sell Carson Wentz, right? You know what I would have said? Screw Carson Wentz. And I would have felt justified in saying that. But now it's like the next year he's on a new team. Things are looking up for him. And it's like, I could be cashing in on Carson Wentz.
I mean, honestly, like depending on when that happened or whatever, I would have never thought he would have been traded. I mean, but I also didn't think Jalen Hurts was going to come in and basically like shine pretty well as well. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of football's a lot more kind of wonky on certain things like that versus like basketball and different things like that. Because you know, for example, like if you have a Kyrie Irving rookie or whatever the case is, like he might have like an injured season, but the following season he's still going to be good. And even if he moves to another team, he's still going to be good. You know, same with like Luka and you know a bunch of other players. So with basketball, it's that guy who's going to be on whoever's team's going to be good. Where with football, you know what I mean? Like a young rookie can pass him up on the depth chart because he's playing a lot better and he's younger, and you know he just didn't have an opportunity at the beginning of the season to show anything. And then next, you know, the guy who was a starter sits the bench. So it's it could be very, very wonky. It's like right now with Aaron Rodgers prices. Like his prices are creeping down a little bit, which really stinks. I got one of his cards coming back from PSA, and it'll be here on Monday. And you know, like if he gets traded, his cards might hit another like plateau to where they're like, you know, because they were talking about this on the radio, how a lot of people think that he's going to be going to Denver, and Vegas has Denver, I think 22-1 odds win the Super Bowl just because of rumors that they're going to, you know, get Aaron Rodgers before the season. So
if they get him, imagine like the spike that you're going to see in his prices, though. You know what I mean? Right. Especially like Denver has a pretty, you know, popular fan base too. Yeah. You know, and they're accustomed to getting guys like Peyton Manning late in their career that are already MVP caliber players. You know, and they surround them with world-class defense and, you know, decent skill position players as well. You know, so they very well could replicate what they just did with Peyton Manning at the end of his career. So that'd be imagine if he would have went to the Browns. Like, can you imagine the Browns team with Aaron Rodgers at that? Like
that defense and that run game, and they have the receivers to be special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
they still have Odell Beckham Jr. It's like, my God. Like
he would be in love with Aaron Rodgers, man, because he would definitely feed him the ball as much as possible, you know. And then you have what's his name is the other receiver who was his college teammate,
Jarvis Landry.
So you got a good 1-2 punch, and then you have the two-headed monster at the running back position. You got an awesome defense with a bunch of stars that they've assigned and drafted throughout the years. So the one thing that would only worry me about Denver is if they would do that trade is what they're going to give up. I heard that they were talking about trading Bradley Chubb, which is a very awesome young talent who could possibly, you know, do a lot, you know, be one of those like all pro guys for the next 12 years or 15 years of his career, you know. And I heard that they don't want to give up that. So that might be, you know, one thing that might stall that trade out. And then as Aaron Rodgers has, you know, if he comes out and literally goes on camera and says, I don't want to be on said team and I won't play, then his trade capital will go down, and, you know, they'll end up getting him for even a better deal. So if they're able to get him for some picks, or they're going to have to trade something because he won't fit under salary cap. So they would have to give up somebody that, you know, is definitely eating a decent chunk of salary. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm dropping a link for you guys tomorrow to come check out the auction on my channel. It's the one me and Nate host every single week. So yeah, this the breaks is was saying a little while up there about a fantasy draft with our followers with a prize and everything. We actually, the cool thing is we done this 2 years now or just one? I can't remember.
I think it was just one. I think we did the fantasy thing.
Oh, because you worked the year before.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So you missed it. So
no, I was in it with me and you. We just didn't do it like with YouTube people. I think it was. I think.
No, we saw YouTube people in it.
Oh, okay.
Like NASCAR Man and all them were in it.
Oh, okay. That was whenever I was at work and I got auto drafted.
Yeah, that's when you got James Conner.
I ended up getting AB, and that was like the worst auto draft in the history of auto drafts. That was 1 year that I would say about 70% of the time I knew I was going to lose because my team just didn't have nobody that could give me a shot to win. I think my quarterback was like Ryan Fitzpatrick, so that tells you the story right there.
So I told that story to tell you this. The past 2 years, we have live streamed the entire draft, and anybody that's a part of either league, well, I guess the league that's drafting, if that makes sense, because last year we had to do it twice because we had 2 different leagues. But whoever's a part of that league that's drafting is allowed to, like, say, come on, like me and Nate are on the screen right now, and like literally be live. Like the one draft, literally, like you go back and watch Nate's channel, he just roasts me the whole time for picking up James Conner, Le'Veon Bell. Like literally, it's a screen full of like 8 dudes just cutting up on my draft. But in hindsight, they were actually right because that was like my worst team out of all my leagues.
I'm gonna have to find that video.
Yeah,
I'll have to share it with you guys because that was definitely a good one. They
talked probably even more crap on the next team I drafted, though, and that's the team that won.
I don't think we did that live stream for that one.
Didn't you? No, I'm pretty sure you did do a live stream that time because the other one, remember, I was in Cleveland getting a storage unit.
I can't remember.
That was the first one where I had the really bad draft. I was drafting while driving home from Cleveland because I had to go clean out that storage unit.
I don't know.
I'm almost positive that's why. Well, I don't want to blame that storage unit on the fact that my team ended up so bad, but it's pretty much the storage unit's fault.
Oh wait, I showed the wrong live, a past live for that. Never mind. I showed the wrong one. I think I actually deleted that. I think because I think
he deleted it the day that my team won the championship.
No,
he was like, "No, this draft will never see the light of day."
No, I don't have either of them. That one I showed was it was us watching the draft, and I think I got copyright striked or whatever. I think unless let me click on it and look.
I was telling Alan from Pure Graded X the other day. He has in the chat Luka Doncic. He's asking for Luka, but I was telling him the other day because he has such like great attention to detail that he made sure that even putting on his slabs, they had like all the little like accent pieces above Luka's name and everything like that. I said, just because I know you're such a tedious dude, I'm gonna get you a Luka jersey without those little things on it. But yeah, man, I'll definitely have some Luka tomorrow for you. I picked up, I think, 2 or 3 of them from the show. And Marty has a bunch of Luka stuff, so there will definitely be some Luka for you, my friend.
I put in the wrong link, but this is definitely the draft from last year. Actually, this might be the team that Pittsburgh drafted and actually won. I don't think we live streamed the first one. I think because somebody didn't want to be in it. I think
you would have had a copyright strike if you did the first one because there were some choice words that you guys threw my way about the draft.
I think, but yeah, I only had the one on there. I don't know about the one. I think the one I won because this one was with Mama, and she was in the second one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's the one you won.
That's the one I won. Yeah, that was
the one the one I picked that we clowned you about Connor. That one got deleted or something. I don't think we went live for that. I think we just did a private.
Yeah, thing. I was gonna say I was definitely doing the storage unit that day when I did the first one. Definitely, Alan, man, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely have like I said, we'll definitely set up in the Facebook group and everything like that, and we'll talk about it before, leading up to it, just reminding people about it and everything, because we love drafting, we love football too. So
This the breaks made a good thing. He said you could almost have like a weekly show just about the fantasy. I'd say if nothing else, we could probably work a segment in, like maybe on like one of these shows, like kind of what's going on with the league and that kind of stuff for anybody that wants to see like placing and stuff like that. Because most of you guys will probably know the people that are in the league, either as like people that have YouTube channels or just people that you see in the chats.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, it'll be fun. It was a lot of fun last year. I love fantasy football. It makes football more fun to play. I used to do DraftKings just because it was kind of like fantasy. Like whenever I didn't get in a couple leagues in a couple years, and man, it felt so good to finally be in like a team that I picked and that I knew had at least a chance to win versus 2 years ago when the auto draft won. That was bad.
Yeah, dude, that's rough. Well, I don't know what's worse, auto draft. Oh, probably auto draft. I was going to say auto draft or just bad drafting, because auto drafting can sometimes draft you players that are, recently cut or recently injured or something like that. Whereas bad drafting, at least you didn't know the player was injured or something crazy like that happened. Hey, Virginia, good to see you.
What up? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, the only thing that stinks about like drafting, for example, is like an auto draft is like once you get like towards the beginning or whatever, you get a guy that gets hurt, they're going to have him at 9 or 10 or whatever it is anyway. So they're not going to move him because that's their preseason draft board that they just have. So if you have like a first or second round pick, it's going to eat in and get in that player who might be out for the year. And then once you get towards the end, like, no, not about the end, but say like pick 40 to 50, you get guys that are hurt or have issues or something, and then they automatically pick them because they're
the best,
best available. So like last year, just in case like something would have happened again, I actually did my own like preseason like rank systems this way. If I lost internet or something like that, I wouldn't have AB again this year.
Chris says he used to do basketball for 7 years. I like doing basketball as well. The thing that, like, I'll be fully transparent. Sometimes basketball is too much for me to keep up with, like, every single day and keeping track of which players play when. So, like, a lot of my basketball leagues will turn out really good, and then I just lose interest. Like, I'm that guy. But
there's so many stats that
my God, it's so much harder to keep up with. Like, for me at least, you know what I mean? Because I'm so used to fantasy football. More so, I'd be lost in baseball too, or hockey even.
I did basketball, and I think I ran out of games because I would switch my guys, so I'd have a starter every day, and then once I got like 2/3 into the season, I was out of like games being able to play because I started on my guys. I didn't know that it was like, you only get so many games per position. So I actually lost a couple seasons because of that. My first couple times I ever did it way back when.
Yeah, this break says he's fantasy football only. I pretty much am too. Like I do basketball, like just the free public leagues, just for fun. I have done like a private league with friends one time, but there's not very many like people that, at least that I grew up around with in Pittsburgh, that are like real big basketball fans, because like basketball is just not super popular here. But most of the time, if I do it, I just try to do like the free, I don't know if it's ESPN leagues or whatnot. But I think I'm already planning this year, dude, since we're going to be fully live for these drafts. I'm going to bring Marty in as my publicist. So that way, while I'm in the act of making terrible decisions, I can at least have somebody make it make sense to the world.
Yeah, he was definitely
he was pro Carson Wentz, bro.
He was definitely a bad advisor on some of your picks. So I'll definitely say that, because I remember you guys kind of like split decisions or something like that last year, and I'm like, why is he doing this? He's like, you're like, well, Marty likes this guy, and da da da. I'm like, okay.
I have to be honest though, the whole Connor and Bell thing, that was all me. that was totally all me. And the funny thing was, like, literally, guys, before I made those picks, like Nate said to whoever the other guys were, because I was jumping in and out doing the storage locker, I bet you any money Picksburgh takes Connor. And then next round, I bet you any money he takes Bell. And then, like, I took Emmanuel Sanders, and, like, you would have thought, like, I walked in and, like, there was some big, like, inside joke going on because I just started picking up Steeler players.
I think at the end of that draft, I took Pittsburgh's kicker, and you, like, I think you were going to pick him, and I took him before, and you got, like, mad or something like that.
I was like, dude, you already have a kicker. Nate goes, yeah, but I know you were going to pick him because he plays for the Steelers. So he's that guy.
I was definitely kind of
he will take your kicker, guys. the most unless you have like one of the guys that is like uber consistent, like kickers are so interchangeable. They really are. I do too, Alan. I like him a lot, man. I saw this one game he played against Notre Dame where he literally like hurdles a guy who's standing up. It's awesome.
Yeah, Najee Harris, he should definitely give us that freak of nature back that we desperately need, because our offensive line hopefully will be better than last year, but if not, hopefully we have a guy that can make plays out the backfield, either receiving or running the ball or running as fast as he can to the sideline, not to get killed every time.
Yep.
But all right, guys, we're gonna cut it off here. Definitely appreciate everyone for coming hanging out with us. I got to be at work at 4:30 tomorrow morning, which is in about 6 hours. So we'll see you guys later. Definitely make sure to check out our auction tomorrow on Pittsburgh's channel. I'll see if I can pin that.
That'd be awesome. Thrift Beast, yes, I have seen The League. That show is hilarious.
But we're out here, guys.
You ever seen that show, Nate?
The League? I think I've seen a couple episodes of that, I believe.
It's like a fantasy, for any of you guys who haven't seen it, it's like a fantasy football show where it's basically these friends that basically just talk smack to each other. And, it's like a lot of like dirty, like toilet type humor. If you like that kind of stuff, I like that kind of stuff. So I thought it was a really funny show.
Appreciate that, Chris. But I pinned it to the comments to the top for the auction. Click on that. Set a reminder. We'll see you guys at 4:00 tomorrow for our auction. Yep. If you guys have anything special you guys want us to bring, players, team-wise, or whatever the case may be, please leave a comment on this video so this way we can try and bring those for auction for you guys tomorrow.
Yep. So it's 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
You know what? All right, guys. Have a great night, and we will see you.